Hi guys. Hey, I was going through my wallet recently and I found this little piece of paper here. And it's actually been in my wallet for 20 years. When I found it, I knew exactly what it was and I know exactly what's written on it. And I'm a bit gutted tonight actually because, this is actually a book. And Lindsay here, he announced that all us speakers, have our own books. So this is not for sale. It's a one-off original, and it's a work in progress. But it's very interesting what's written inside it. And I think Lindsay may have been going through my wallet and has plagiarised a few things. So the truth is I've never shared what's written on this piece of paper with anyone. My wife read my talk, whatever you want to call it, last night, and she said, I didn't know that was in there. So maybe that's a good thing because I know she hasn't been going through my wallet, or she probably just, only got so far and I've got what I need now. So, this is really interesting. So, for me, this was a dream 20 years ago that I would write a book. The book's called Money Matters. And do you mind if I share it with you? It's not very long. I can read you the whole thing if you like. Money Matters by Lyndon Green. The most foolish thing ever said was money doesn't matter. But the truth is money makes the world go around. But even more truthful is giving turns the world upside down. That's actually what I want to talk about tonight. As you can see, it's a work in progress. I've had lots of time to contemplate about what I'm going to say, and I've rewritten what I'm going to say 5 times just in the last few days. So it is a work in progress, but I've had plenty of time to think about this, and it's something that is really ingrained in me, if you like. And so money is important. I don't think any of us can deny that money is not important. It's really hard to live without it. You should try it sometime. But it's something that so many of us, strive for. We strive to get it. We strive to get more of it, and our identities are wrapped up in it. And I think it's actually really sad, but the measure of our society is how thick is your wallet. What's in your wallet? That's the measure. We actually call people successful because what's in their wallet. And it's not the little notes that are in there. It's the other notes that are in there. If they're really successful, we go and give them these labels like, philanthropist. And it's like, isn't the philanthropist the guy that's got nothing in his wallet? Sorry, just got to catch up on myself. But I believe generosity is so much more than giving money. And I think that's the difference between why this note is still in my wallet, whereas a whole bunch of other notes, currency notes, have gone through my wallet. They've gone in and they've gone out. They've gone in and they've gone out. But the one thing that's remained in my wallet for 20 years is this little note. I'll tell you a story. There's a story about this young boy. And his father come to him one day and said, your brother's dying and he needs a blood transfusion, and you're the only one with the right blood match to save him. And, you know, it didn't take long for this boy just to go, right, let's do it, Dad, you know, let's do it. And so, you know, to cut a long story short, they go off to the hospital, and, you know, the doctors take the blood out of him, and, you know, he's sitting there with his dad, and he turns to his dad and says, Dad, how long is it till I die? You know, it's kind of like this kid was willing to sacrifice everything. So the really interesting thing about this is his response was almost immediate, and that's the heart of the generous. They don't have to think about it. It's just what you do. It's also really fitting that this week was Remembrance Day. You know, and we remember people, you know, mostly really young guys that probably shouldn't know that, you know, they don't know any better, but really young guys went to war and sacrificed their lives for our freedom. And, you know, it's pretty amazing, you know, and it's worth remembering. The really interesting thing about all those men that sacrificed their lives was they did it for our freedom. None of them knew us. None of them knew that we would ever exist, you know, and quite likely none of them did it for any particular reason except they believed that it was their duty. So if you go back to my first statement about money makes the world go round, but generosity, sacrifice, giving turns the world upside down, I wanted to think about turning the world upside down. And I said, why do things turn upside down? And I realised that it's because they're not balanced. And probably all of us have heard people speak about, you know, you've got to get your life in balance. You know, we've got to have work-life balance. You know, well, I think it's actually a load of garbage. Yeah, I don't actually believe it's right, because if we're to turn the world upside down, we've actually got to get out of balance. You know, I've read, someone made this comparison of balance is like your hand. And so your hand can be, it can stretch and contract. It can open and close. It can give and it can receive. It can take and it can withhold. And the interesting thing, they went on to say, if it's either a fist or if it's only an open hand, it's actually paralyzed. And you know what? Being in balance doesn't sound that good to me, because I believe that, you know, we should be the people that are considered disabled, you know, that we're looked at and you are different. You are, you know, you're looked at for all the wrong reasons. You stand out from the crowd because you are considered disabled. You know, I want to see that unbalance in our lives, because that's what's going to turn the world upside down. So we talked about generosity, sacrifice, and unbalanced. I just want to finish with one last thing that actually inspires me, and it's pretty old, and it's in some funny language that you know might sound a bit strange, but I think it's still relevant today, and I think it sums up all of what I've said. If you take away from your midst all yokes of oppression, and the finger pointed in scorn, every form of harsh, false, unjust, and wicked speak. If you pour out that which sustains your own life for the hungry and satisfy the needs of afflicted, then your light will shine, and you'll be like a spring in water, a spring of water that does not fail.
This has been another Metamorphic production.